So the big day is finally here. The day that is basically like Christmas for nerds like me. The Snyder Cut has arrived. Well, it arrived last night, but I needed to take a moment to step back and reflect and decide what I thought about this. So, this movie is the result of a relentless fan campaign, which is basically the studios telling us fans that if we throw a big enough tantrum, you'll give us what we want. Which maybe isn't the best message to be sending us, but hey, I'm not gonna complain. I just wish the fan campaigns for Gotham and the Suicide Squad Ayer cut had worked, but I still have hope. So anyway, if you like this video and you want to see more like this, please hit that subscribe button. And if you enjoy it, please like the video. Okay, so don't come after me with pitchforks when I say this, but I prefer Joss Whedon's version. I know, unpopular opinion, right? I mean, I follow a lot of movie review channels and I've seen a lot of reviews for the Snyder version, and I haven't seen any of them that say they didn't like it. They're all raving about it, saying that it is a masterpiece, it is the best thing since sliced bread, and if that's your opinion, fine, I respect it, but please also respect my opinion to disagree. Because even if you don't agree with me, I'm always going to say my honest opinion about a movie or a TV show, even if it isn't what everybody else is saying. And even if I am quite literally the only person I've seen that doesn't like this as much as the Whedon version. Like, I haven't seen one single person say what I'm saying, but I just didn't really enjoy it as much. Look, in the trailer, I think they had some pretty amazing shots included that weren't in the Whedon version. So don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that this was a horrible movie and there wasn't anything added to it that brought value to the movie, because there were shots of like Batman on top of the building and Aquaman walking into the ocean that were really amazing that weren't in the Whedon version. So do I think Snyder is a talented filmmaker? Absolutely. I just watched last night the Batman Superman Ultimate Edition, which I just posted a review for, so go check that out. And I thought it was pretty amazing. I think he definitely has a lot of talent. But just what he was trying to say with this movie didn't really resonate with me, and I didn't really like the aspect ratio of 4:3. It just felt a little cut off to me and not really immersive. So one of the things that I didn't like was how long it went for. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that all the added footage was unnecessary. I think a lot of it actually really did a good job at fleshing out the story. Like, we see the mer people and the Amazons and the original gods all fighting together to prevent the first apocalypse, and I thought that was a really good scene. And there was some other scenes that I'll go into more later that I really enjoyed. But I felt like there was a lot of scenes like of Lois Lane drinking coffee, Lois Lane delivering coffee, Nordic villagers singing by the ocean that just felt unnecessary. And I get what Snyder was trying to do. He was trying to make it a more serious superhero movie. And superhero movies definitely have that reputation of being all goofy and silly, when that isn't true. They can be quite emotional and moving and heartfelt, like the Joker movie. So I get what he was trying to do, but I just felt like it just felt too jumbled and long in some scenes. So the added scenes with the cyborg character really worked to flesh out his character and help us to understand who he is and where he's coming from. So I think Snyder did a really good job with that. But with the Flash and Aquaman, I think it actually did the opposite, and those extra scenes sort of watered things down when they were already done really well in Joss Whedon's version. Like, for example, with the Flash rescuing that girl in the car, sure, it was a visually impressive scene, but it felt like it didn't really add to his character in any way, and it just felt a little awkward and unnecessary, to be honest. Look, I feel like with the Flash in Joss Whedon's version, he was a light-hearted sense of humour, and the whole movie in general was a lot more light-hearted. And he still made jokes in this, but they just felt like awkward and out of place. They didn't really hit the same way. Like, for example, when he discovers in the Whedon version the Batcave and he's like zooming around and he's having so much fun, and when Aquaman sits on the Wonder Woman's lasso of truth and starts telling people about his like private life, I felt like those were really good moments and they sort of brought the team together in a different way. And look, I think Whedon has come under fire a lot recently, but he's the guy that brought us Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and in my opinion, that was a true masterpiece. So to me, the perfect movie would have been a blend between the two when it comes to runtime. I felt like Whedon's version could have added another half an hour or so to flesh out a few areas. It definitely needed that. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that Whedon's version was a perfect, amazing movie by any means. I'm just saying I slightly preferred it to this one. So one thing I noticed in this movie is the scene where we see Lois Lane has a pregnancy test, and that begs the question, is she pregnant with Superman's baby? And if so, how would that work? Like, if that baby had laser vision and it was in her stomach and it turned on its laser beam, like, I don't even want to think what would happen. Like, is that even physically possible? Anyway, so one thing I didn't like is that they had like this teaser in the trailer of Lex Luthor, and he was doing a voiceover which wasn't even in the movie at all, and that's something that really bugs me when they put things in trailers that aren't actually in the final movie. And I really enjoyed Jesse Eisenberg's version of Luthor, which I said in my review of Batman vs Superman. I felt like that is another unpopular opinion, but I enjoyed him. And I really wanted to see some more of him in this version, but we only got a 1-minute scene of him breaking out of Arkham Asylum. And then he's on the boat and he's hiring Joe Manganiello's Deathstroke. I know I butchered those names probably, but hey, I'm tired and I need coffee. So anyway, I think that Lex would have really added some interesting dynamic in a very serious movie. He would have added that more light-hearted approach. But yeah, that's obviously not what Snyder was going for. He wanted a more serious movie. And one thing I really, really didn't like was the Joker. So anyone who knows me knows I am a massive Joker fan. Like you can see here, I've got my little Jared Leto Suicide Squad Joker pop. And look, do I like his version aesthetically in the Suicide Squad with the damaged tattoo and the grills? No, it was pretty lame. Like, we all can agree on that. But I felt like with this version, they were making it a lot more serious to sort of reflect his makeup was a lot darker and more serious and morbid. And I felt like that was symbolic of his change, his inner change. Like, he was a lot more darker and more somber. And honestly, I prefer the Suicide Squad, girls and all, to this more somber Joker. So he was basically calling a truce with Batman, and he taunts him about killing Robin. So I know a lot of people have been speculating about whether or not he actually did kill Robin. And they didn't include that line about him saying there is no honor anymore, which was a pity because that was a really good line. And we find out that Harley Quinn is dead in this universe, and Batman was holding her as she was dying, and she was saying to kill the Joker slowly, so obviously things didn't end well between them. So yeah, look, I think at the end of the day, like I said, I didn't hate this movie. It had a lot of things that I really enjoyed, but I just think the Whedon version was slightly better. So let me know what you think, please, respectfully in the comments down below. And like I said, if you enjoyed this video, please subscribe.